Well, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today is Friday, December 11th, and our bold woman of the day is Shirley Chisholm. She's a teacher, politician, and activist. She was born in Brooklyn, but spent 7 years of her childhood in Barbados with her grandma. When she returned to the U.S., she arrived with a new accent and a new sense of boldness others later described as uniquely Caribbean. In college, she became involved in politics and student organizations. She's had strong opinions and a determination that made people stop and listen. She worked as a teacher in Brooklyn and made a name for herself as a leader and advocate in her neighborhood. She volunteered and consulted at organizations that lifted up the community. She was active in local political organizations as well, such as the Democratic Women's Workshop and the League of Women's Voters. She stood up for racial equality and welfare and confronted local politicians. Her outspokenness made her very appealing to the community and very intimidating to politicians. In 1964, she earned a seat in the New York State Assembly, and in 1968, she became the first Black woman elected to the U.S. Congress. She made waves when she crossed party lines and stood up to the old leaders of her party. She was an independent thinker and was never one to stay in her own lane. In 1972, she announced her run for president, making history as the first woman and first person of color to bid for a major party nomination. She ultimately lost, but she did achieve her goal of making her party more aware of and responsive to the people. Well, I did not know that about Shirley, or is it Chisholm? Chisholm, I think that's how you say her last name. I didn't know that. All right. And so that's fascinating to me. So let's hear our Disney story of the night. And it comes to you from the movie Bug's Life. And our story is Survival of the Smallest. So there's a little picture of the bugs. All right. Dot and the other blueberries were heading out for the first annual Blueberry Wilderness Expedition. Their journey would take them to the thickest of tall grass next to the ant colony. It was only a few yards from home, but to a little ant it seemed like an awfully long way. As the group prepared to leave, some boy ants arrived to tease them. "How do you expect to go on an expedition without supplies?" Geordie asked. Dot put her hands on her hips. "For your information," she said in a superior tone, "the whole point is to survive using our smarts. Whatever we need, we'll make when we get there." When the blueberries reached the tall grasses, Dot consulted her survival guidebook. "Okay, the first thing we need to do is build a shelter from the sun." "I know," Daisy volunteered. "We can make a hut. All we have to do is stick twigs into the dirt side by side to make the walls, then lay leaves over the top for the roof." The rest of the blueberries decided this was a great idea. So with a lot of teamwork and determination, they completed a shelter to comfortably hold the troop. "Now," Dot said, looking at the book, "it says we need to protect our campsite." So the girls dug a narrow trench in front of the hut, just as the guidebook instructed. A short while later, they heard a scream. When they went to investigate, they discovered Reed, Grub, and Geordie at the bottom of the trench. It was clear to the blueberries that the boys had been up to no good. "Girls," Dot said, pointing to the boys, "observe one of the blueberries' most common natural enemies, though certainly not one of the smartest." When it was time for blueberries to pack up and hike home, the boys were still stuck in the trench. "Say the magic words and I'll get you out of there." Okay, Reed, Grub, and Geordie agreed. "Blueberries rock." Dot lowered a ladder she had expertly made of sticks. "You bet we do, because if we can survive you, we can survive anything." All right. I do love blueberries, by the way. So anyway, God bless you all and have a safe night.